I slept last night too, and I had 3 steepers of green tea. I had 2 already today, and I've got a third steeper right there that I'm going to do on this live stream. That's really the first order of business. Like, ultimately, I can't even get to writing the book, The God Engine, until I'm sleeping more consistently. So, right now, I'm just going to investigate detox, ketone levels. There's someone brought up in the Lion Diet Uncensored group about ketone levels. And I thought that was very insightful. It was about how different ketone levels support different levels of detox and stuff. So, I'm also probably going to do some push-ups throughout the podcast too, just because, like, gets me energized, gets my brain amped up. So, I think right now I'm just going to, and also, I've been having, like, my poops have been interesting. This is just, I'm recording this for myself, basically, because of a lot of reasons that have to do with business development over time and the spread of information over time, and my own habits and how my habits have to come together with my business goals, and how my habits and business goals have to come together with everything else I'm doing in my life and all my plans for my life and all these things. I think I'm going to take some tyrosine, just because tyrosine is it's a it's not a stimulant, it's just support stimulants, and I've had some Vyvanse today, so that will support that. And cap that in a second. Just gonna get something. Oh, I was gonna do some push-ups. I'm just gonna bang some of those out. I'm just working up. I just do them throughout the day. Like, I do body weight squats with my knees over my toes. I'm doing these on the balls of my feet, and just very controlled. And I just do 2 of those. And then I'm going to do some more later. I just do that every day throughout the day. And it just really is building up my leg strength, my leg mobility. I'll do, like, other forms of uneven. Ooh, you hear my knees in hip hop. Ooh. Uneven squat. Like, just building up those muscle groups. And it's really, really helpful. So, this is just supposed to be an honest reflection of, like, what I do throughout the day. So, and it is. I mean, this is just literally me turning on a live stream while I go about my day. Welcome, welcome. You are witnessing history in the making, people. So, I am currently, how do I put this? People watching. I've created an interesting plan over the next 12 months that y'all could watch unfold through Instagram, through YouTube, through TikTok, through Kickstarter. I have had terrible insomnia for my whole life, and I've spent the time I spent not sleeping, besides the time I spent crying and trying to sleep and being stoned, which was a small portion of it. I spent the time just researching insomnia, how to fix it, and making plans for what to do from there, and how to make a life out of fixing this illness. I don't really know how to convey this to people or how much of it to convey to people, so I just do these live streams. I make them very long. My ultimate plan is really to create a audience of people with large attention spans over 40, 50 years. I mean, it's just, so let's say, like, let's put it this way. So over the last 2 years, I have built my audience from basically very few people, like no one would tune in if I did a live stream, to hundreds of people tune in to all of the live streams I do. And I did this just by consistently posting on YouTube about how I was living my life. And I did that after doing insane amounts of research to fix my sleep issues. And hello, welcome. So I did this after doing insane amounts of research to fix my sleep issues, health coaching people. Jesus does love me. I have a great relationship with Jesus Christ. But, I think I do. I mean, I've spoke to him a few times, but incredible flying spaghetti monster. Any more dumb comments, I'm going to block you, because again, these live streams exist for me to record my process for posterity, because at the end of the day, if you just want to get famous on YouTube, you have a very limited perspective, and it's just not going to work out the way you think it is. What I am doing is I am just documenting how I build everything else. So I don't really gi, like gi is in jiu-jitsu. Hi. Howdy. So I'm just doing is I'm documenting what I'm doing. Like, I would be doing this either way. I have to drink this tea so I sleep. And if you watch the previous videos in my live streams, I explain why. I actually figure out why the tea is helping me sleep on the live stream. So now I'm continuing to drink tea and talk about why the tea is helping me sleep. It's specifically gunpowder green tea, organic loose leaf gunpowder green tea, and I steep it until it's amber to get all the catechins and polyphenols, because I have crazy detox problems. Like, my gut is totally screwed. I have crazy gut issues. So I take chlorella, B vitamins, all this stuff. Normal green tea is good, but I'm doing detox. So this is chlorella. I'm taking chlorella, and then I'm going to eat a nice steak as well. I'm doing carnivore. We're doing lion diet, really, just to like really help reduce the inflammation in my body. And it's helping me sleep, and I've recovered from basically not sleeping at all. Like, I'd sleep like maybe 2 hours a week, 2 hours every 10 days or something, to now I'm sleeping pretty much every night again. But it's somewhat inconsistent, so I'm refining the process. I'm just doing that on this live stream. I'm waiting for the tea to finish steeping, and then I'm going to drink the tea and do research live. And then at some point when I'm sleeping a bit more consistently, I'm going to write a book about this whole process. I'm just going to literally like write the book on the live stream. Like, this is a live stream of me writing a book. And then the book will be done, and then I will do another live stream probably about a more specific topic or something, or I'll see sort of like what other topics I'm going to then move into. But this is basically a experiment on social media anyway. Like, I have many other social media experiments going for business, because I view business as abstract warfare fundamentally. Like, I think we do business because it's more profitable than waging war. And if it was profitable to wage war, we would wage war. Hello and welcome. So I see this opportunity I have to do business and all these tools I have to do business, and these tools of dissipating information, as tools of war. Because, and like, well, what's the war over? The war is over resources. But you can also produce resources, and it's kind of abstract. And that's why you have trade wars, and you have like opium. Like, I'm gonna try to get your population addicted to opium. You're gonna try to like kill me before I can do that. You have these sorts of exchanges that go on. I'm gonna take the chlorella now, because it's gonna help me sleep better tonight. Well, but basically, it takes me so much to fix the sleep issues I have that I'm just documenting it on a live stream so people can just watch. Add a Q&A sticker. I don't know, sure, try it. Sweet or savory breakfast. I don't know. Please start Q&A. What is this? This is just me kind of messing with the technology. What is this? Sweet or savory breakfast? That's interesting. I don't know what that is. But this is just me documenting that process and also creating a space for myself to really unify my business practices with my daily habits, with this ongoing sleep problem I have, with the necessity to live my life, with the habit of producing media. Because if I sell supplements by making media, if I sell supplements through media, if I sell books through media, if I make use of media as a primary distinguishing factor in my business, or if I even reach the customers who would need my supplements most through media, then I am a media company. So therefore, I should act like a media company and I should produce media. So this is the media I produce because at the end of the day, people with the longest attention spans, these are the people I'm trying to reach. So this is just some time for me to articulate my own beliefs about this. So I'm just going to set aside another page for note taking for this day of writing the God Engine. And then I will start kind of journaling about why I run this business the way I do, because talking about it gives me more ideas. I have infinite ideas. The more ideas I have, the better this all works. And the more ideas I have and share, the more long-term attention I get, which is what I'm optimizing for anyway. So I am going to be teaching y'all how I run my business and how I think about business. So you would think that that's bad for me because it would make you all excellent competitors with me. You could just go and steal my business. I actually disagree. I think that the likelihood that someone capable of stealing my business would come and watch this live stream is really low. I think that if I got enough attention via the live streams in order to hurt my business model, I would be so successful on the live streams and I'd have so much attention on the live streams that I could sell tons of books. I could sell tons of supplements anyway. I could do more in-depth media creation. And it's kind of like that's sort of the thing. Like, I'm like, okay, ultimately people are going to try to figure me out anyway. So if I just tell people everything I'm doing, I'm going to do the same thing in jiu-jitsu. I did the same thing in wrestling for a really long time. I would just share with people how I did everything that I was doing, because if I tell you how I'm beating you and I can still beat you, then I really know how to beat you. But if I tell you how I'm beating you and then I can no longer beat you, then it's not like I am still beating you, but it's not like I'm actually beating you because of something. Like then all I am is one sentence away from losing. Like if all someone has to do is tell you a sentence and then now you're beating me, it's not this, it's bad. Like I've faced a lot of people in wrestling like that. And because I couldn't figure out their style originally. I was like, oh my God, these people give me so much trouble. Like my first year wrestling, my second year wrestling. And then after my second year wrestling, like I was just, none of these people gave me any trouble anymore. I feel like really like, I figured them out. Like it was just like, people would tell me, they'd be like, oh, like he just does this, just like avoid this, or he goes down low. And then when you go down low, he does this, just avoid. Like it was just very easy for me to figure it out. And then once I knew what they did, that was it. There was one trick ponies. They'd headlock you, or they'd be like, if you feel him going for the headlock, immediately just lock around the waist and then pull back. And then I just do that. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's easy. So it's like you have to have a style that's built on more than simply doing some trick. It's like, I'll tell you, so my jiu-jitsu stand-up game is built around the fact that I walk barefoot every day and have for 3 years, so I have a specific way I can hold my balance because my feet are conditioned in a certain way, and I build my style around that. And there's other things I do in addition to that, but even if you copy that thing that I do, the walking barefoot, it's still not gonna help you because I still do a lot of other things. That's just one training thing that I do. And there's still nuances to the way I walk barefoot. Like I don't just walk barefoot. I walk barefoot a specific way. And it's like, well, you walk barefoot a specific way? Yeah, I walk barefoot a specific way. And I try different ways of walking barefoot. I try different, like maybe what if I do 2 walks a day that are shorter? What if I do a faster walk and a slower walk? What if I alternate walking with running? What if I alternate walking with hiking? Like if I'm relying on the fact that me walking barefoot is going to make me a better athlete than you, then I'm being lazy. I do other things that also make me a better athlete. I walk, I hike, I do the things I mentioned. I do the uneven squats, I do the push-ups throughout the day. And it's like I do the push-ups a specific way, focusing on different muscle groups. I like train my finger muscle groups. I train all of these different things and I build systems based on that. And I'm going to try teaching you guys through my live streams, through my YouTube channel, everything that I'm doing. And we'll see how the structure comes about. I mean, ultimately, this has to be driven by my own habits, because if this is driven by my need for a result, then this is not going to work out in the long run. Like, I ultimately have to, my result is the book that will come from this live stream. Whatever else happens is data that I will use to direct my next experiment, which will produce a desirable result regardless of the outcome of the experiment. You see how I go? This is the same with my athletic training. This is the same way I approach fixing insomnia. You can see this through the video series. Like, this is really, I've got to a point where this is the way I'm going to teach, because I'm definitely going to be teaching whatever I'm doing. Like, as a business owner, I'm teaching. As an older brother, I'm teaching. As a father, I'm teaching. As a husband, I'm teaching. As a health coach, I'm teaching. As someone who like runs a Facebook group of people on the Lion Diet, I'm teaching. As someone who does research and educates people on supplements, I'm teaching. As someone who does research and educates people on diet, I'm teaching. Like, I am teaching. I am like a very much a teacher type person. But like, I'm also teaching myself at the same time. And that's the only way that the teaching in my mind is valid, because if I'm just trying to teach you, what am I learning? What am I teaching you? Am I teaching you that you should teach others at the expense of your own learning? I don't think so. I think I should teach you how to teach others in order to enhance your own learning. So if I teach you everything I know to the best of my ability, because I can't really teach you everything I know. Like, there's so much stuff that I know that I don't even know that I know, that I can't even express. That's just sort of like put me in a situation and start asking me questions, and then I'll do stuff. But like, if you're asking me to describe what I would do in every possible scenario, I can't do that. So for me to intentionally limit what I share and what I teach in order to create a false information disparity is just completely counterproductive. So I'm really training myself through these videos to share all the information I know. And share the process by which I arrive at the information, so that I can ultimately get a lot of employees who like really, really like the way I think and operate. That's the long-term goal. There's a lot of multi-layered goals I build into this, because I've been working in this project for a long time. So this gives me the opportunity to talk about that, and also it just gives me the time to. So at the end of this video series, you'll see maybe a more focused video series where I do a series of live streams on the carnivore diet and interview people on the carnivore diet while I build up information for something else, and write other books. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I have a lot of different ideas. So I know pretty much, like, I know what I'm going to be doing. I know what my options are. I know how I'm going to decide what to do, but what actually comes of that is going to depend on a lot of different factors. And really what I'm looking for with this video series is I have been making videos for quite a while now, and I've built up a little bit of an audience, and I've built up my audience of a few thousand people and who watch my videos every month, and I want to see who of this audience I won't ultimately know, but like what I do know, like, because I can't say I want to see who of this audience, blah blah blah, because I don't know. People do things at their own rate, but what I can say, and this is important, this distinction in thinking, is I can say I want to see who shows up to every video if I make videos of this nature, like writing the God Engine. What does this mean? Well, it means I'm writing a book called The God Engine, but whether or not you're interested in that kind of depends on whether or not you're interested in getting into my plans on a deeper level. So, because it's not like I'm not making this to appeal to a mass audience. If this is meant to appeal to a mass audience, I would be like, it would be like the carnivore diet live stream or something, and I would be doing that. But I'm intentionally not doing that because I want an opportunity to talk to a very niche group of people, which is the people who are really interested in what I'm actually doing. And I'm going to talk to these people while I am writing this book that kind of... I think that there's probably going to be two different eras in the company. I think there's going to be multiple eras, but there's going to be the era pre-book and there's going to be the era post-book. And the era post-book is going to be a lot more organized. There's going to be a lot more people reading this book and getting their friends to read this book and talking to each other about what the book means and really seeing how many different groups of people are interested in this sort of a topic in this way. And the book will spread, and that will spread information in a lot of ways. And I think that I don't know. I don't know. I think that it'll simply make me more articulate. I believe that writing this book will make me more articulate, and I'll also have produced something of a high degree of articulateness, which is able to be shared. Like right now, if you want to understand my ideas, there's no physical object you can hold that will explain all my ideas. I guess the book wouldn't even do that. I don't know. It's just what I'm working on right now. It's a lot of different... I mean, I guess what I'm really working on right now is sleeping every night. That's really what I'm working on right now. And then, I'm moving that into the book. That is the book. I'm just writing that as I'm figuring out how to sleep every night, and that's sort of like my excuse to set aside time just to figure out how to sleep, is like I'm writing a book about it as well. I'm documenting what I'm doing. And this is another extension of that documentation. So... so basically, Wednesday, October 22nd. The other important thing I'm doing is holding space. I'm just holding calm space because I'm not frantically trying to get anywhere. I'm not trying to make sales through this. I'm not trying to... I'm not trying. I think I thought about this a lot. It's always seems very impactful whenever I'm on psychedelics. Think about this phrase: do or do not. There is no try. And it's like there really is just what you're doing. So what I'm doing is I'm writing a book. What this is documenting writing the book. There's lots of peripheral benefits, but This is what I'm doing. But I've observed life enough. I've developed the ability to observe life with detached interest to the degree where I have noticed that this behavior, which is not a behavior but a documentation of a behavior, will result in me ranting in this style, which is beneficial for me because it really helps my brain. I got so many issues because I just hold this stuff in all the time. This is kind of like a controlled pressure release because this is gives me a lot of stress, but talking about it makes me feel good. So it's good. And I'm giving background on the books. When the book's done, if people are like, well, what does the book mean? I can make a course on the book, and I can also show the origin of the book. So there's sort of like, this is me explaining the book, and this is the book explaining this. You can see how this flows into the book, flows into the course. So now you have 3 points of reference for one set of ideas. Pretty cool. This also trains me to just make live streams every day, which is something I was already kind of doing through my uncut daily videos on what I'm doing to fix my sleep. And I actually like it. It's actually way easier for me to go live for a lot longer than it is for me to make a video because I do my best talking when I'm thinking, not when I'm necessarily presenting. Presenting is sort of something that happens after, and I've presented a lot. And I still have more to present, but I'm kind of funneling that presentation energy into the book. But right now I have to funnel my thought energy into my sleep. So then I document this, I hold space, I do these videos. And then when the book is done, I then move on from this to do another series of live streams where I talk more about the book and I talk more about I'd have to have something to gain from that though. So I want to learn because if I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to promote the book, I'm trying to promote the book. Now it's like there's this agenda, and it's like the real benefit of making these videos and putting these videos out there is that they're going to be out there for a lot longer. This is long term. This is long term creation of media. I'm creating legacy media here. I'm creating media that's going to last for 100 years. Longer than 100 years. I want people to be listening to my stuff the way they listen to Alan Watts, the way they listen to Terence McKenna, the way we listen to all these great speakers from the past. So really Alan Watts and Terence McKenna, though, they're the ones I've listened to a ton. That's how I know I would listen to this because I listen to them. So I continue doing this and I do my series of carnivore interviews. I like to talk, so I talk. And video exists, so I do video because video is the biggest force multiplier for the medium of talking. And it's just these simple things like that. And then because I am allowing myself to make my talking productive, I get to talk while I think. And then I get to think a lot. And then I come up with lots of different ideas and I get to continue to iterate on these ideas and test how these ideas help me dissipate information. And I've already with YouTube built up enough of an audience that I will be able to actually build some momentum. It takes a while to build up enough of an audience and enough people even watching my stuff to the point where I get people that watch all of my stuff. Like now, if I make a video, any video, it will get views. It immediately gets views and then it'll get more views over time. That wasn't the case for a long time. For most of my channel history, my stuff just got no views because it takes a long time for the algorithm to like start promoting your stuff and start like figuring out who even watches your stuff. And that's just YouTube. YouTube is longer term. Books are longer term. These supplements are longer term. I'm building this long term. My health is a long term payoff. I'm building this long term system. And I've actually been building this system for so long with my own health, with my own research into insomnia, with my own business studies, with my reading of books, with my studying of books, with all of this stuff that now I'm reaching the point where now I can actually start to describe the payoff. That's the real benefit of these live streams, is that I'm actually reaching the point with this where people are going to start noticing me purely because of the amount of attention I'm receiving. And then they're going to be like, why is this guy receiving so much attention? What's the story? And that story is all documented on my YouTube channel. You can follow the whole thing through. It's intentional. I kind of figured after a few different experiments with social media that documenting via YouTube was the only way. It wasn't how I got into YouTube, but it was sort of like what I realized. And then I've kind of like made a bunch of different types of videos, and it's become like an art form to me because I've realized that like videos I never thought would be popular become popular. I've realized that really the payoff of YouTube is the ability to create media that allows other people to truly understand you. And the only way to that people truly understand you is to truly show up. So this is just raw and unfiltered me and uncut, and it's me writing a book, and it's cute, and it's like you can show up and ask questions, I'll answer the questions, and I do this every day, so you can see even how my mood and attitude and everything changes over the course of day to day living, and it's a very raw insight into my life. And as people start to experience my content on the internet at a greater and greater rate, they're going to be interested in the person who made the content. And this gives people the opportunity to see the person who made the content while being introduced to the book that I'm writing, while being able to ask me a question on this live stream, while being able to ask me a question on another live stream, while I do more research in the future on the lion diet through live streams, while I gain attention and use attention to get conversations with more people, but not doing it pursuing attention, because if I do it pursuing attention, I'll get the attention, but I won't get anything else. I want to get the wisdom and knowledge because I ultimately want to be in a position where I don't want people like I don't want to get incredibly popular overnight. That may surprise you. I actually, if I had 1 million subscribers tomorrow, that would sort of freak me out. I mean, I think that I would be happy about that, obviously, and I'd be like, yay, but I know I'll have 1 million subscribers at some point. So I actually don't want 1 million subscribers tomorrow because that'd be too much attention for me to handle. What I really want is I want like 100 people who are going to buy 6 bottles of the supplements I make once a month. And I take way more than 6 bottles worth of these supplements. So this is just literally like, I'm like, there's some people out there who will see what I'm doing and they will watch my course, they will read my book, they will understand how my supplements are helpful, and they will buy my supplements, and they will take my supplements. By the time you're watching this, they may already be doing that. I may already be sold out. I may already be scaling. I may already, and I'm gonna have 2 tiers of supplements. I'm gonna have the ones that I make that are guaranteed, and the ones that are I'm gonna be using on Amazon. So because I have to test out new ways of making these things without compromising quality. So I'll have the old way of doing it that I'll continue doing, and then I'll have new ways of doing it, and then maybe if I can, but at some point I'll have my own facility, so I'll be able to I'll be able to make, I'll control everything enough to the point where I can mass produce the highest quality and guarantee it at the same time to the highest standard for people with like the craziest autoimmune issues and stuff. So at that point, that's going to be, I mean, that's just kind of like the point I'm working to get to. I don't really want, because if I get too big, then I mean, I don't know. Even if I get too big, though, I can just expand on the media end because I have the book that I'm writing. So then I can just start kind of like becoming a populist for the ideas I advocate. So I don't even care, honestly. Even if I got 1 million subscribers tomorrow, I would still be able to make use of it. I like the idea of growing slow and steady over time, like growing slow, grow steady. I want the people who buy from my company to be like long time believers in the principles that I advocate, because that's more effective. I mean, I ultimately have kids. I'm trying to build a business for my kids. I am building a business for my kids. I'm building a business built on principles that will last. And that's why I'm talking about how I'm building the business, because by the time people start trying to figure out how to copy me and rip me off and stuff, I want to have already told them. It's like, look, guys, this is how I do it. I build businesses based on principles that will last, and you should too, because doing so makes society wealthier. I'm a huge believer in Henry Ford's principles for that reason. because Ford believed the only way to become wealthier was to make the society around you wealthy, and that's also what I believe. I believe that is the only way to do that. And so again, like someone we were selling we're basically trying to promote the brand at the head of the Charles just to see what would happen. And someone like called my brother a snake oil salesman. He told me about it yesterday, and I was like, I mean, that's actually good because that means they kind of understand the idea that we sell you consumables that make you feel better. I mean, they think it's snake oil, but it isn't. But that's sort of like one of the biggest problems in the space is that people would think that I'm a snake oil salesman. They're like, "Oh, you're selling supplements. You're a snake oil salesman." It's like, no, but I understand that trust is the biggest problem in this industry. So this is why, again, like in order to really dominate in this industry, which I'm just doing because I got health problems like crazy that I've documented through this channel. I know the way. Like I know the way to make myself healthy, and I've proved to myself sufficiently that it works for pretty much anyone else that I could help. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there who have very complex situations and I would struggle to help them, but like I think I know I understand the principles of health, at least to the degree that they allow me to see what comes next. I think I understand what the culmination of the research implies for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So I am, and the reason for that is because I got this insomnia condition that is just beginning to be understood. So I had to extend my understanding beyond what is understood in order to fix this thing in order to survive. So that's what I'm doing. So basically, because I have to do this anyway, I'm documenting this. And because I had to make my own supplements to recover anyway, I'm making the supplements available to people. So I'm just going to continue scratching my own itch in the most effective way for me. Like I may make a spray to clean counters that is the most non-toxic spray next, and then sell that via Amazon, become a multimillionaire because of that, and then still go and continue putting money into supplements, supplement development, food development, research, etc. Because that's the fountainhead. That's the fruit bearing tree. That's where all this comes from. Like the fact that the cleaner is the best cleaner on the market, or the fact that I can make the best hair gel on the market, or the fact that I can make all these wonderful products is because of my research into health, fitness, and high performance via insomnia, focusing on how the things we put into and on our bodies and how we live affects our biochemistry and how that creates conditions within us that lead to these things happening. So, and everything about that. And that's basically, that's my wheelhouse. That's my area of expertise. So, so it's basically like Henry Ford with the car. Like I know this is what people need. Everyone who uses my methods gets healthier. So that's also like I plan on recruiting people through my company. Like I've got to recruit. I'm creating a cult basically. I mean that's my goal. My goal is to create a cult, but a cult that's like a company, like a really good company culture. So everyone within my company believes in and uses the principles of health, fitness, and high performance that I advocate. I also want to have people working for me who are the most curious people, the people with the longest attention spans, and the most innovative minded. So, or really longest attention spans, most curious, and most driven. Those are the people I want working for me, most self-directed people. So, therefore, I make my videos in this style. So people, when they, like when eventually my company starts taking off more and more, and it's like, wow, Week to War, you heard of them? You heard of Devin Young? You heard of what that guy's doing? People are going to come, and certain people are going to watch my stuff. They're going to study me. They're going to go, this guy didn't succeed by accident. And then they're going to watch all my videos. And then because they're watching all my videos, they're going to see me telling them how I did this and see me talking about all my health principles too as I'm doing this. And then they're going to say, huh. Then they're literally going to hear me talking about this. They're going to be like, wait, he literally did this intentionally so that people would watch like thousands of hours of his videos and then train themselves to be excellent employees. Yes. If you're watching this and that describes you, analyze my company. Tell me where you could help. If you're right, welcome aboard. We'll schedule an interview and figure it out, or we'll schedule some interviews, then figure out if you are a fit and if you actually can help. But I mean, that's what I plan. I plan on having people like hit me up through these videos, like watch all the videos. And it's like, it'll be interesting. I'll have like probably lots of people hitting me up, and that people like sorting through those people. And it's just going to be like I'm looking at the technology and I'm like, okay, I was a driven kid who watched tons of YouTube videos. If I'd found this channel, like I found Elliot Hulse growing up. Elliot Hulse, great videos. Watch them if you're someone who loves watching YouTube. Watch Elliot Hulse videos, like every single one of his videos. And then I was like, I wanted to like work for the guy, but there was no opportunity for me to necessarily work for the guy because I was younger. But it's like, Elliot didn't foresee that. I foresee that. So now I am setting up these structures ahead of time. So when people go back and watch all my videos and come to in a year or so, and like they're seeing this, they're going to educate themselves into a position where they are helpful to me. So it basically makes people who are paying attention to the company first the best informed people to compete with the company, who are also the best informed people to help the company. So then there's just, if you recruit all of the best talent of your generation and the subsequent generations, you just win. I mean, that's basically what you got to do. You got to recruit the best talent. So this is one way that I'm building that, and I'm even building my ability to communicate that as I am drinking my tea. So, but I mean, cults are effective. Like at the end of the day, like if I end up having like a carnivore live stream, and everyone on the live stream has the same problem, I can just go solve that problem and recruit people from the live stream to help me solve the problem, and then make the solution available to everyone else. Like it's really just a way of organizing people around an idea, while I'm even organizing myself around an idea, because I'm focusing on what I need to do to sleep. And I mean, literally like eating my dinner, taking chlorella, taking tyrosine supplements, drinking tea while I'm telling you guys what I'm doing, and documenting the entire process on YouTube. And getting writing done, getting research done, all this stuff. It's just a very effective strategy for disseminating information. So I gotta pee. I'll be back. Whoop. Oh. So really, like, Gary Vaynerchuk was right when he said document, don't create, because at the end of the day, you can't control where people put their attention. You can't. Like I can't, like, I mean, I could like do Mr. Beast and stuff, but he's already doing Mr. Beast, and I don't really want to like do Mr. Beast and then make Feastables. Like that's his thing. Like Feastables aren't a product I would endorse. So it's just not my thing. But For Mr. Beast, that's cool. Mr. Beast benefits from doing that. So I'm gonna do a little research into a question that was asked to me in the Lion Diet Uncensored Facebook group, because that is what I want to do. Bum, 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 bum. Dr. Boz ratio, glucose divided by ketones to assess metabolic flexibility. Ratio of 100 indicates need for adjustment, while ratio below 40 is considered a deeper level of ketosis. I understand you must agree with you. The ketones in the blood are not giving you the amounts produced or used. I guess a lot depends on his personal activity level, what is required. Never fast, so I'll try that. And I am fat adapted and good ketosis. Try it once I am fat adapted. This is interesting. So, Dr. Annette Bosworth. Dr. Annette. But that's why I try to just be calm and collected and chill, because I'm just holding space for something inevitable. Not making anything happen, just surfing waves. That's sort of how it goes. You gotta surf. You can't really make it happen. You can, but it's like Levels of Energy. Levels of Energy is a really good book. That's a really good book. And I thought about reading the Arabian Nights on the calls. Read the That's really good, because that answers the question of what happens if you have a genie. Because you assume if you had a genie that you would get whatever you wanted, but so you do get whatever you wanted, but you don't know what you want. So you're going to wish to be king, and suddenly you're king. But the king's in lots of debt to an unsavory crowd, and now they come in and they kill you for not having that money available because you wish to be the king, and that's what was going to happen to the king, and now you're him. Because you didn't know what being king entailed. It's like you wish to like own this giant building, but it's like this giant building isn't owned by who you thought it was owned by, and the mafia uses it for something or other, and now you get caught up in the middle and they kill you. Or whatever. It's like that's really how, like, the genies in the Arabian Nights are indifferent. They're not malicious. Thoughts on AI? Okay, so AI it doesn't have a body. So it really, I'll answer this question, then I gotta take some notes on Dr. Annette Bosworth, unless someone's got a better question after that piques my curiosity, which I might answer. Thoughts on AI. I got a lot of thoughts on AI, actually. I want a more specific question. I'll give you some thoughts. I mean, I think AI, it's a really, really insanely useful tool. It's just a tool. It doesn't have a body. It can't replace people, but people make themselves obsolete by refusing to think creatively. That's really what I think happens with AI. And it's like you gotta fight people's ability to try to turn you into a cog in the machine, because a cog in the machine is the easiest thing to replace. Logan Smith. Howdy, Logan Smith. So that's really the problem with AI, is that AI it replaces cogs. Seriously, I have had bad thoughts. How do I stop them? I think I'm gay, but I am a Christian man. Stop watching porn. Have you stopped watching porn yet? If you stop watching porn for a long time, well, let me know what happens if you stop watching porn for a long time. What's the long, like, you got to like stop watching porn then. I mean, if you're just like, I think I'm gay, I don't know. I mean, it's probably the porn reprogramming you, honestly. That's hard to quit. I like the easy peasy audiobook works, but I mean, I don't know, like that's one of those things where it's like I've quit successfully, but like I don't even know how I quit successfully. It's like I like looking back, I'm like, just pray to God. And if you find yourself not watching porn, keep not watching porn. That's what I recommend for that. So, do I have seminars? I mean, eventually I'll probably do seminars or something. These are like my seminars right now. I'm writing a book and I'm live streaming the writing of the book, and the book is about how I regained my sleep from like fatal insomnia, which is poorly understood, and I mentioned that in the book, but it's all the same symptoms. And I'm not saying I have fatal insomnia because by definition that kills you, but I think I have worrying about being gay is being able to appreciate the male body. Sometimes you appreciate the male body but can think that it means you're gay. I mean, it's also like the porn thing too. But like I could see, like, yeah, I mean, just like stop watching porn because it makes your brain all fucked up. And like hooked up with a trans person in my town, and now I hate myself. With the trans person in my town, now I hate myself. Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, like, the problem is like the self-hatred and the thought process that led you to do that and to also hate yourself for doing that. Like, if you did something and you didn't enjoy it, like you're like, oh, I had sex with a trans person and now I didn't like that, then they just don't do it again. And if you keep doing it again, then examine the thought process that leads you to both of those things simultaneously and stop inputting other things that could confuse that thought process. So I would really like, I mean, like, are you having trouble with pornography? Like, just, are you? If you are, let us know. I mean, because that, I mean, you already told us you hooked up with the trans person in your town, so might as well say if you're having trouble with porn, because that would probably help other people who are going to watch this too. Like, do you have trouble with porn? Because I think porn is probably the biggest gateway into compulsive sexual thoughts, but also, like, I felt like, yes, bad. So I feel like I had the biggest problem with porn, like, right before the last insomnia episode. I mean, not like the biggest, but it was like the weirdest one because it's like I've never really liked porn. Like it always made me feel weird. And it's just like I think like heavy metal redistribution, honestly. Like heavy metals. How can I find a high value woman? A good wife, who can find her? She is more precious than gold. Proverbs is really correct in this. I mean, the meeting place isn't a bad place to look, which is a Facebook group for people who only meet. So porn, I don't know. I would recommend if you have a really bad problem with porn, I'd recommend drink lots of green tea, meditate, and listen to the Easy Peasy audiobook on how to quit porn. Day game and talk to everyone you see. So that's really the way you, I don't know though. I mean, honestly, I can give you tips on how to quit porn, but porn's a fucking bitch, man. Like, I don't even know how I quit at the end of the day. Like, that's just, it's like the grace of God. Day game is talking to a woman during the day. But I would really recommend like Easy Peasy audiobook. I don't know, like Community. I know, come on these live streams. You come on these live streams, and that's something. I'm gonna do these live streams every day. So if you're really struggling with porn, you come on these live streams and stuff. But you gotta like it's like you can't, this is something that really helped me, an idea that really helped me. You can't get rid of the darkness by trying to like push the darkness out of the room. you have to open up the windows to let in the light. So don't be like, oh no, gay thoughts, had sex with a trans person, porn addiction. Where's the light in your life, and how do you make that light bigger? Because the larger that light is, the fewer shadows will be everywhere. That is how that works. That's the only way to get rid of the shadows, isn't by trying to get rid of more shadow. Like you can't push the shadows out. You have to let in the light. So let in the light ultimately. And I think that I mean, like, confession can help with, like, how do you come enough? Oh no. Don't start asking me gay questions, man. Like, I hate it when that happens, when I start talking to people online and then, like, halfway through they start, like, hitting on me. It's fucking irritating. Like, I really don't like that because it's just weird. Like, I don't know. Like, don't I'm a married dude. Like, I'm good. How do you could like I know, do you have like erectile dysfunction or something? Like, I don't know, like I mean, are you trying to get someone pregnant? Like, what do you mean? How do you come enough? I mean, I'm not saying you're definitely trying to hit on me, but like if you're healthy, you'll come enough. I don't know. Like, don't worry about the sexual insecurity stuff. Like, not being like that. I'm okay, okay. I can see that. I've had like it's annoying, whatever. I don't need to get into it. But basically, don't worry about like stop watching porn. Like it's like literally like it is just bad for your brain. Like how did I find a girl? So I started off kind of like socially I mean, I don't know. I've never really been like that socially awkward, but like it was you gotta like get over the talking to girls thing. Like you just gotta get over it. So what I did, because I did have an issue. This is my general thoughts on talking to a woman, and like I'm happily married to a woman I personally view as the most beautiful woman in the world. Like you can go through my channel, like she's a stunner. I go out with her in public and I'm just like, she's just like drop dead gorgeous. I love it. It's awesome. It's like the best thing. I'm just like, ha ha ha, ha I won. So very, very happy. Started off in high school. You know, like I never had the attention of the girls that I wanted. Or maybe I did, but I didn't realize it, or I didn't know what to do with it, and I felt awkward. Um, how old are you? That does like change things. Like, how old are you? But basically, when I was 16, I realized like I had trouble asking girls I liked out. Like, I mean, I didn't ask out girls I didn't like. And I think that's what a lot of guys do is I know a lot of guys who have talked to me later on in life. So a lot of it's also just getting over this idea that you're like behind or that you have something wrong with you that other people don't. Because a lot of the guys that like I thought were super confident with girls in high school later on would admit to me, they were like, hey man, how do you like get women that you like? And I'm like, what do you mean? You've always had an easy time getting women. Like, yeah, but if I like a girl though, I can't really. I'm like, so you're just dating girls you don't like? And they're like, well, yeah, man. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I thought you were good with women, and you're just dating people you don't like, and here I am being like picky. And then I thought I was bad with women, but really, I just don't want to date women I don't like, and there aren't that many women I like, so I don't want to date that many women. like, and that was one thing I had to just get over. But I kind of just got over it initially. I just set aside a year. I was like, there's 365 days. And barring like acts of God and my impending death, I am gonna go to the downtown area of my town and I am gonna talk to three women. And if I couldn't find women my age, I talked to 90-year-old woman. I had to talk to three women. Like that was the rule. Three women. And I would talk to them. I'd chat up 90-year-old ladies playing bingo. I'd chat up like 14-year-old girls, not hitting on them, but I just talk to them like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, nice. I mean, I was 16 at the time, so it's not like weird. I talked to everyone. I did that for a year, and I did that for like another year because it worked so well. So I did that for like 2 years. And so I got over the approaching people, and then I just talked to people. Like I just talked to people, and then I talked to people online, and like I'd end up making friends with like girls in like the YouTube comment sections. Then I'd be like Snapchatting, like there's this girl, and if she sees this, like hit me up. Like, yeah, I don't know, we were tight. But Drew Rosalie Decker, or I don't know, maybe I won't share people's names because then people could look people up or something. But she's just this cool girl. I met her in the Psych Substance comment section. She was just this cool person. She was dating someone else. I was dating someone else. But I talked to her and like I just talked to people. I was just interested in people. I got interested in people. And I met my wife on the Meeting Place, which is a dating group on Facebook, people who do the carnivore diet. But like when I met her though, it wasn't like I saw like the image of her. I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. But like when I saw her, I was like, okay, like, yeah, you're beautiful, but like, do we get along? Like, are we gonna get along, you know? So I just like I like left a comment. I was like, if we hit it off, I'll fly to Florida to come meet you. Because she was in Florida, I wanted to disqualify her. So I sent her like just a bunch of images of she like friend requested me after I commented. So then I accepted her friend request and I just sent her a bunch of surrealist art with no context. And she liked all. She's like, "Oh my God, these are so cool!" And then we started. She's like, "It reminds me of like mushrooms." And I was like, and then I started thinking that she was a Russian spy sent to steal my kidneys because I've been in the newspaper for my success in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I was like, maybe like the Russian mafia saw that I was a really successful wrestler, and they were like, "I want his kidney because he will be a good replacement for me," or something like that. And then they set up this girl to be like my ideal honeypot. And we're married with 2 kids and a third on the way. So I don't think she was, or maybe I converted her because I was kind of down anyway. I was like, even if she is a Russian spy, I'm still going to meet her. I will convince her not to sell my kidneys with the power of love. Like, I don't know. Like, be an insane romantic. Like, be an insane romantic. And also don't watch porn and don't jack off. Like, this is the real way you do it. Is if you don't ejaculate, then your male energy, like yang, builds up in the universe. And then, like a magnet, you attract your feminine reciprocal of female yin energy. So really, it's just, yeah, I wrestle. I still do jiu-jitsu and I'm gonna coach wrestling. I have to actually go do a background, like submit myself to do a background check so I can coach wrestling. I gotta write down to do that. I'm gonna write that down. But basically, it is an amazing sport. How old are you though? Like that does depend on things. But basically, bum 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 bum. That's how I met the guy I hooked up with. Shit happens, dude. You know, like, just like it. You know, like you gotta like have goals in life. Like sit down. And if you never did this before, just do this right now. Don't get off the video. Just do this right now. Write down in the positive present tense, like I have achieved, I am. And write down your top 10 goals for your life. Just right now, just write them down. Like number 1, I am in the best shape of my life, being able to do 20 one-arm push-ups, 20 one-arm pull-ups, and 20 pistol squats. And run a marathon in under 3 hours. Like have a goal like that. Like write it down. And then write down another goal. Like I have made $1 million. Good. So like do that and just keep that. Just do that. And like I try to do that. Sometimes I've done that every day for months for periods of my life. And I do that at least once a month. I mean, I guess sometimes I don't, but like it basically like I come back to it. I mean, the only practice, I like meditating, I do every day. I religiously do that every day. I walk every day religiously. And I'm making these videos every day pretty much religiously. And I do my push-ups and calisthenics religiously. And I journal religiously as well. So it's like, on top of that, I also, like, as a subset of journaling, I write my goals, but I don't do that probably as much as I should even, and I still do that frequently still. It's just so helpful to focus yourself. Like, don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you do want. Like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, you say you're a straight Christian. Like, I don't know, find a kinky straight Christian chick who you can, like, have kinky sex with, and, like, I don't know. I mean, like, what is it about... It's probably the porn addiction, honestly. If you say you have like a really, really, yeah, it's like porn addiction, guilt, inability. Yeah, because you're asking me how to find a woman too. So it's like you don't know, you lack confidence with women, watching tons of porn. No wonder. Anyone that's how anyone ends up if they're horny and in that situation. So it's just kind of like fix the problem, I guess, you know, like you just fix the problem. Like, how do you fix the problem? You fix the problem by fixing the problem. And that is like, I got to start writing down. This is hard because like I have the insomnia problem. So it's hard for me to like be consistent with things, but like screw my excuses. I got to start writing down days ahead of time, like planning each day the day before to let my subconscious mind work out how to make all those things happen while I'm sleeping. I guess I haven't been sleeping, so that wouldn't really work. But when I am sleeping, that does work really, really well. That is like just planning. Like right now, I'm going to the best of my ability, plan October 23rd, 2025. I'm just going to plan the next day of my life. And it really, it's kind of dependent on me sleeping, which is like what sucks about this whole thing, because if I could just sleep, I would be much more organized. And you could ask yourself, well, how is someone with such an organized brain disorganized? It's been through such an insomnia hell. It's like, how do I feel about Israel? Dude, I'm glad you asked. You know, that's why I do these live streams to talk about Israel. I don't know, man. Like, I think, you know what my thoughts are? I think more familial ethnic groups should be trying to take over the world. Like, why are we only talking about Jews trying to take over the world? Why aren't Italians trying to take over the world? Why aren't like Polish people trying to take over the world? Why aren't like Mexicans trying to take over the world? I mean, Muslims, I guess, are kind of trying to take over the world too. I don't know. Like, I think like I honestly like that's the like one of the purposes of, well, one of my like they talk about like find your purpose as a man. One of the things I'm trying to do is like put my family into a serious position of power for a very long time. Because of, I don't know, like it sucks to not have power. The powerful do what they can, the weak suffer what they must. This is history. I mean, what do I think about Israel? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to survive insomnia. Like, I don't know. I think that oh, I got a lot of thoughts on Israel. I mean, you can ask me a more specific question. I got a lot of thoughts about Israel. I think it's interesting. I'm reading the Old Testament again. I think that anyone who wants to understand Israel should read the Old Testament, because the Old Testament is a let me see. So get background check for wrestling at Pentucket. Drop off green tea and steeper. Live stream and drink 2 steepers of tea. Walk, meditate, journal. How do I feel about Israel? I don't really feel much about Israel. Like, I think what I did think was interesting though. I saw this woman on Instagram today who's an Iranian woman who's talking out up against the Islamic Republic. And I wondered if she was funded by Israel. I mean, I think Israel's very intelligent. Like they're definitely a very intelligent country that isn't messing around. And I think that more Americans should be very interested in why their government is acting the way it is. I think that we are not at a point where our government is owned by Israel yet. I mean, like some politicians seem to be very in favor of Israel for whatever reason, but we need people getting involved. We need people even like just with perspective. I mean, I actually did think about this. I hope someone does ask me about Israel, because my thoughts on Israel are like, we need more people who are becoming incredibly competent at solving theirs and other people's problems. and putting their families together. And we need, that's really like, this is really like, people talk about like the Jews having an advantage. The real advantage of the Jews is Shabbat. They have dinner as a family to like every week. So the families all talk together. It's like when you go away to college, you don't see your parents, you stop talking to them. They don't do that. They have dinner together as a family every week. So the families all stay connected. So they all help each other. So they just win by nepotism. But like that's just something that anyone could do if you just actually like have community. Like they just have actual community. So I would really encourage anyone who seriously thinks about the Jewish people as a threat to read Beyond Good and Evil, because Nietzsche talks about them. And I think, honestly, I agree with Nietzsche's analysis. I think if the Jews wanted to take over the world, they could. Like, I think if, I think they could. I honestly think the Jews could take over the world if they felt threatened enough. I think they have the organization. Like, I don't see any other ethnic group that has this, like, multinational organizational capacity that survived 2,000 years of persecution. Like people say they got kicked out of like 100 and something countries. It's like, where are those countries now? You know, like, where are they? Where are all the places that persecuted the Jews? They're a very successful group. Like, they are really successful at what they do. Can you fault them for it? Can you hold them personally at fault for being successful? And that's really like what I think about Israel is like, can you fault them? Like, I don't know. I mean, I think Israel is sort of, I don't know. I mean, I think I would like to get into conversations with these people without, like, I don't know. I mean, I think that I believe in the goodness of man or in the greatness of the good. Like, I think that the good is greater than evil. I think that whatever corruption is going on in the world is like rot that takes place in areas of poor circulation that are dying. I think that if you want to be a force for good in the world, you should be like a light in the world and spread light and truth. And I think that the more you do that within your own family, like I think we need to put families together first. Like that's really, I think it's like, why is the top broken? Because our world leaders are pedophiles. Why are they pedophiles? Broken families. You look at the bottom. Why is the bottom broken? Because they can't ascend. Why can't they ascend? Broken families. It's broken families top to bottom. It's the problem with the world, broken families. So if you want to fix the world, you have to fix families. If you want to fix families, fix your own family. If you want to fix your family, fix yourself. That's what I'm doing. And the process of fixing myself has led me to help thousands of other people with insomnia and continue to do so. I'm just going to continue on ahead. I'm not going to pause to wonder if my message is connecting with people. It will connect because there's 5,000 channels and there's nothing on. They're going to watch me at some point. This is interesting. What I'm doing is interesting. And that will catch people's attention. And if that doesn't, then at some point the amount of attention I'm getting will catch their attention, and then they'll pay attention anyway. And that is inevitable. It's already happened. The fact that I have 2 people on this live stream right now is just evidence of that. You know how many live streams there were? 0? You know how many live people have been on here? Dozens. I'm at this cusp, and I'm mapping that out right now. So you'll be able to see my channel will blow up. Slowly, though. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't really know how fast this is going to be, but it doesn't really matter because I have other things growing at the same time. I think it's going to be, I don't know. It's a niche channel. It's a niche idea, and I don't want to dumb the idea down in order to grow faster. I actually want to grow slower. I want people to take longer to try to really understand the nuance of what I'm getting at and the nuance of what I'm trying to do. So I'd rather have 1,000 people who watch me really understand what I'm doing than have 1,000,000 people who watch me who don't understand what I'm doing. So I'm content growing slowly in that way, but I also understand that at some point I will simply hit a cusp where my channel starts to take off, and I want to simply have enough content on there by that point that people could fully educate themselves as to what I'm doing. And that's why I'm writing this book, so that if my channel takes off overnight and people really want to know what I'm doing, they can buy my book, and then there'll be at least that, and then people can at least center their conversation on the internet around the book, which is really what I want to produce and what I want to focus on at this point in my life, career, health, etc. So, I'm gonna finish writing up what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Oh, and then I'm gonna put down write top 10 life goals. I may do that in my journal right now too, because it's a really good practice. Bum, 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 bum. So that's what I think about Israel. I think that people have self-interest, and I think that people without families don't survive because we only live a certain amount of time. So really, at the end of the day, there aren't individuals, there are families. There are individuals, but there's really families. Because an individual without a family ceases to be an individual at his death, whereas an individual with a family becomes the individuals of the family who become individuals of families, etc. So really you have bum 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 bum. Oh. So really you just have families, and it takes certain things to produce a family, and those things are consistent across families. So really, if you live in a way that's destructive to what it takes to raise a family, then you'll cease to exist. So any group of people that's continued for a long period of time has a center that is based around what produces healthy families. Otherwise, they would not exist. So I just align myself with what produces healthy families over the longest period of time, because that's essentially what everyone by definition agrees with. Like, people all need the same things. So by aligning myself with that, I align myself with that which is eternal and universal. And that's kind of how we start to approach God. It's like God is a universal God. It's not like you could say, oh, all these Jews are of the synagogues of Satan, but like insofar as they want to serve, they want their generations to survive, they're on my side. That's what it means to worship the Spirit of the Father. Society grows great when men plant trees under whose shade they will never sit. So, right, top 10 life goals. Keep focusing on sleeping every night. Push-ups. Read my life and work. So, just look at that comment. It's an amazing sport. That's how I met the guy I hooked up with. Interesting. So, I'm gonna take some notes on ketones, or I'm gonna take some notes that will become more notes that I will take tomorrow. I mean, really, my goal is to keep sleeping. So I don't even know if I'm gonna get to the. I mean, I guess because I could use so Dr. Annette Bosworth identifies So 0.5 millimolars per liter for weight loss and athletic performance, 1 to 3 millimolars per liter for improved mental performance, 2 to 6 millimolars per liter for therapeutic use, like fixing cancer or heavy metal detox. Uses a Dr. Bose ratio. My handwriting is like terrible right now. This is interesting. So I'm going to plug this into AI, and then I am going to see what that says. Because I'm just going to do that as a preliminary test, and then I'm just going to write down that I slept last night. Slept last night after 3 steepers of tea and 16 half-gram tablets of chlorella. So I gotta finish this tea, and I got some steak, and it is all good. I wonder if that means the magnesium beta hydroxybutyrate would help me detox faster than straight magnesium. So, if you're watching this, Odette, she says that you've summarized Dr. Boz's framework quite nicely, or quite accurately. So, let me see if I can just get it to read it.
Excellent reflection. You've summarized Dr. Annette Bosworth's Dr. Boz framework quite accurately. Let's unpack what those numbers really mean in the context of brain detoxification and energy metabolism. 1. Ketones and brain cleaning. When Dr. Boz and other metabolic physicians talk about detoxing the brain via ketosis, they're referring to several mechanisms that become active as ketone levels rise. Autophagy, the cellular cleanup and recycling process that removes damaged proteins and mitochondria. This ramps up after 24 hours of fasting and intensifies around ketone levels of 2.0 to 5.0 millimoles. Microglial reset. In ketosis and fasting, brain immune cells, microglia, shift from inflammatory to repair modes. Reduced oxidative stress, beta-hydroxybutyrate, BHB, itself acts as a signaling molecule that decreases oxidative stress and upregulates antioxidant genes like FOXO3 and NRF2. So for actual neuroregeneration or toxin clearance, you typically want to sustain ketone levels above 2.0 millimoles for extended periods, often 24-72 hours, depending on fasting or fat adaptation. Hammer 2, interpreting Dr. Boz's ketone ranges. Goal, blood ketones, typical state. Mild fat-burning weight loss, 0.5 to 1.0. Light ketosis from diet alone. Cognitive enhancement, mental clarity, 1.0 to 3.0. Fat-adapted plus intermittent fasting. Cellular repair, autophagy, detox, 2.0 to 6.0. Fasting or deep ketogenic adaptation. In your case, once you're fat adapted, a 24 to 48 hour fast or a few days of deep nutritional ketosis, 2 to 4 millimoles would trigger the cleaning pathways Dr. Boz and others describe. Hasna 3, the Dr. Boz ratio, glucose ketones. This ratio is a quick metabolic snapshot, 100 still mostly running on glucose, 80 to 40 good fat burning range, 40 therapeutic or autophagic range, 20 often seen in long fasts or deep therapeutic ketosis, like for neurological repair or cancer protocols. Example, if glucose was 72 milligrams per delta and ketones equals 2.4 millimoles, so 72 per 2.4 equals 30, which is excellent for deep repair. 4. Practical guidance. Don't rush fasting until you're fat adapted. 3 to 6 weeks of consistent ketosis. Use a blood meter, not urine strips, for accuracy. Start with intermittent fasting, 16-8, then try 24-hour fasts once weekly. Monitor your ratio, aim to bring it under 40 for therapeutic phases. Remember, energy demand matters. High activity or workouts will temporarily lower ketones as they're used up, not because you're out of ketosis. Would you like me to outline a step-by-step progression plan, e.g. from fat adaptation first fast, therapeutic ketosis win?
Now I'm going to ask, would supplementing with exogenous ketones be helpful when I have been, would be helpful for detox when I have been on the lion diet for 18 months strictly? So this keeps on going with like targeted ketosis. So they don't trigger autophagy. This is interesting. So support brain fuel, high mental load, travel, sleep deprivation, neuroinflammation, contemplating increased ketones available in neurons, neuroprotective support. Fasting aid. That's interesting. I could do BHB during fast. Don't trigger autophagy, so detox by themselves. Driven by low insulin, nutrient deprivation, not mere presence of BHB, blunt fat brain temporarily providing easy energy, reduce the internal signal for repair if taken too far. It says it triggers abundance rather than scarcity, which reduce autotrophic drives. You misunderstand. Would you can also just get into the mechanisms of ketones for detox later, because if they're metabolic stimulants, they definitely would help. Exogenous ketones probably would help detox, but simply because they're fuel, they're easy fuel, and are triggering abundance like they talked about. So I think that to answer your question, Odiep, I think that exogenous ketones would likely, it's the green tea making me sleepy. I think that exogenous ketones would likely be helpful for detox, but I think that the ketone, like, it's the ketones themselves that are helpful. I don't think that the ketone levels you measure in your blood are necessarily helpful because, again, if the ketone levels in your blood get too high, that just means your body's not burning them, which is odd. Like, why is your body not burning these ketones for fuel? So I think her work suggests to me, and this is just based off of a cursory look at her work, that maybe I'll look her up online too, so I can give a more thorough report. Um, she has a YouTube channel. 1,000,000 subscribers, 1,000 videos. Um, so she's a keto advocate. So I think that she's using science and scientific studies on ketone levels to show you that ketosis itself is useful as a motivation for people to not consume carbs. But I don't think she's saying you need to aim for these levels of ketones. I think that, like, I never saw high levels of ketones, but I'm a very active person with a high metabolism. You may see higher levels of ketones when your body is producing excess ketones in order to stimulate dysfunctional cells. I don't think my cells ever got that dysfunctional. I don't know. But I don't aim for levels of ketones because I have like real things to aim for, I guess. Like I have to eat a certain amount every day or I don't feel good and I can't sleep consistently. Right now I aim for a certain amount of green tea in my bloodstream because this helps me sleep consistently. So that's what governs what I do, is what helps me sleep consistently. So continuing to saturate my blood and tissues with green tea, polyphenols, and catechins. Feeling the metabolic increase. So that is that. And then I continue to work on my tea. But basically, one thing I can do is I make my video for Instagram. So this is an example of how I'm testing different hypotheses with this. Like since I've been working on the sleep thing so much, I've like there's basically an infinite number of ways I could turn this into business models because it's really inseparable from my life as a whole. So I could make like houses for people with health problems that won't grow mold, that support all the things they need to do every day to be healthy. I could make retreats for people to educate people. I could make certifications for people. I could make books for people. I can make shoes for people. I can make hiking sticks for people. I can make cars for people. I can make apps for people. I could make food services for people. I can make grocery stores for people. I can make like all these different things for people. Supplements. I could make tea. I can make cookbooks. I could make like home food delivery services. Like there's so much I could do in this space that it's really become for me about playing around with the very technology itself and seeing what the technology and the zeitgeist of the era is leaning towards. So one way I do that with TikTok is, or not TikTok, Instagram right now, is I'm just uploading a 15-second video to Instagram every single day that roughly begins the same in order to see what it takes in order to get a large number of followers on Instagram. My thought process is that all it takes is consistently posting, and I'll be able to get as many followers on Instagram as I want. So I just post videos like this. Writing a book called The God Engine about human metabolism, specifically how I used insights into metabolism to fix a very persistent and horrible form of insomnia that is related to Morvan syndrome, fatal insomnia. I'm writing a book called The God Engine. My name is Devin Young, and I decided to live stream the process of me writing a book on metabolism that tells the story of how I overcame total insomnia, rebuilt my health 3 times, and I'm doing it live. I'm writing a book called The God Engine. My name is Devin Young, and I decided to live stream the process of me. So I'm just making a video metabolism that tells the story of how I overcame total insomnia, rebuilt my. And I'm just going to caption it day 3. And that is. And that is the. That's the method I'm using to share this, is just repetition. I'm Devin Young, I'm writing a book. So the second one. Hello, everyone. I'm writing a book called The God Engine, and I'm actually live streaming the process of me writing the book. It's a book on metabolism. So maybe I'll use variations of hello, everyone, and I'm writing a book, and then the hello, everyone will be followed by I'm writing a book. But I believe that just the same visual cue and basically the same video consistently posted with the caption like day 1, day 2, day 3 will get attention to the book, which will ultimately get people to ask why I'm writing the book, which will get people who are interested in books coming to the live stream, watching that, maybe joining the Lion Diet group if they have issues that are related to why I'm writing the book, but doing it from the spirit of fun. Like, I'm not going to be all like up in my head about how that project goes. I don't really care. Like, I'm going to learn from that. And the process of doing it is going to reflect my lack of neurosis. And I'm going to document the entire process of getting this business going. So really, this is various ways of documenting how I'm getting the business going. So by the time the business is going, which I know it will because I got a health coaching business going, and that's so much harder than a supplement company. And I'm basically providing the same service to the same people, but it's more easily understandable, and I'm using greater force multipliers to convey it. So at the point in time where people actually start buying my products in mass, and there's going to be like I just realized this with business. Like, if whatever you're selling, if you sell it with your whole heart and soul, there's going to be a point where you get a bunch of sales. You will figure out a way to do it. And at that point, what happens? For me, at that point, people go to my YouTube channel, people go to my website, people read my book, people go watch the series by which I made the book. I get this influx of attention that will grow the attention I get forever. So I've got the supplements to sell. I've got the means to sell the supplements. I'm going to sell the supplements. It's going to happen. It's going to happen at probably after I sleep more, because I'm working on my sleep right now. But at the point where I'm sleeping and I sell all the supplements, then I will document that. I'll show you guys how I sold all the supplements. And now it's like, he sold all the supplements. And now I start making videos about how I did that, how I'm taking the next step in the business. Now, if you are watching how I'm taking the next step in the business, I'm answering questions on previous steps in the business. Now it becomes significant because it was documented. And now and even what I'm doing now is I'm documenting the thought process that led to that plan. And I've been doing this all the way through my YouTube channel. So when you when people decide that they're interested in this sort of content, if they ever are, which I know they will be because I would be, and people are, and I've seen it. Once that happens, they can have a ton of content to watch. They can watch all the content that boosts my channel in the algorithm, and then that promotes all my other content. And I'm just going to keep on making content at the same rate. This wave is not going to crest until I am long dead. And at that point, my children will already be adding to the wave. My grandchildren will be adding to the wave. And this wave is a wave that's been coming since God created the universe, you know? Like, the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. He was in the beginning with God, and through him all things were made, and without him nothing that was made was made. That is this same process, or at least to the greatest degree that I can make it, this same process. So, but it's not because I made it that way. It's because God made it that way, because that's the pattern by which God makes all things. So I think really the hardest thing I ever did in business was fix the insomnia. Because now that I've fixed it before and I'm fixing it again, now I have the confidence to document it. And now that the fixing of it is documented, and before I even developed this episode, I made the insomnia course. So I'm even calling the method I used to fix it. And that's documented. It's going to build me a lot of momentum, a lot of cred in business, and a lot of business is cred. I realize that because I'm without this documentation, I'm just a 26-year-old with horrible health problems who no one knows about. But because I'm documenting this, and that's why I gotta download my shizzle, you know? Like, that's really what I gotta be doing is like downloading my shizzle and like not smoking weed during the day now that I've been sleeping for a few nights, because smoking weed during the day is making my shizzle all fooky. So I don't want to talk like that either. Like, it's just fall into it when I'm not sleeping, because it's like kind of funny and it's a distraction from the constant thoughts of suicide, but it's like not ultimately the way I want to talk. It's just really, I don't have the constant thoughts of suicide anymore either. So it's like, I don't really, that's just a thing that happens if you haven't slept for 5 days. It's just, I bring it up because it came to mind, and that's why I'm doing these live streams, to bring up that which comes to mind. Download my YouTube videos onto a hard drive and upload them to Rumble. It might be even easier to get noticed on a Rumble live stream. Try Rumble live stream at the same time. I wonder who's on Rumble. That'd be even interesting. But these are the kind of questions that are good. You know, approach things like a child. It's helpful. But basically, I create all this, and this is just for interest's sake. This is for interest because, and also for training me to do this and for training other people to think this way, because I think this is a unique way of thinking. I think more people should think this way because, you know, you asked me about Israel. So what I think about Israel, I think there's probably a lot of people thinking like this, making long-term plans. And if you don't have a plan, you become part of somebody else's plan. And that's how it is, but I'm really trying to saturate my body with these green tea chemicals, and I feel like that is good. I gotta look into the sourcing for methylene blue too. I mean, all these things, like Take methylene blue. Got to look into the sourcing for that. Got to make vitamin D. Got to make hair gel. Got to sleep. Got to sleep every day. Like, that's the real kicker, is like they got to sleep every night. So I'm going to go use the bathroom and then come back and keep working on that how to sleep question. Drinking my tea. Yeah, take some salt pills. I need me some sodium. I need some sodium. I want to. That's a bad habit I picked up. That's a worse habit than weed, is using improper grammar in my speech. How dare I? Woe is me for this, you know? Woe is I. Woe is I. Ugh. Salt's hitting me. I feel a little nauseous. I make 1 gram salt pills, but I sell half gram for that reason. Yep, live streaming. Perhaps another time.